Your business is just a platform. The success in business is not about your strategy. It's about your alignment.
Yeah.
The moment you align with your values, that is your strategy to have a successful business.
Hello and welcome. We are so excited today to have my very special friend, Saba Laeeq, with us today. I'm going to do a little introduction and then we'll have her say hello. Saba Laeeq is one of the top realtors at Keller Williams Suburban Realty. She's a Gold Circle Excellence winner by National Association of Realtors. She's a community builder and an interfaith leader. In a tough industry, Saba stands out with her positive mindset, blending expertise, heart, and connection to empower others. Welcome, Saba, to the podcast.
Thank you, Chitra. I'm just smiling, grinning ear to ear because this is my very first podcast. So I'm very honored to be here today. I'm just really excited.
I'm so excited to have you and so excited that I get to be your first podcast. So tell me, we are on the Warrior Mindset podcast. Tell me what the Warrior Mindset means to you.
Well, I'm definitely a warrior. And that simply means that, you fight your way in everything you do to be the best you can be. But that doesn't necessarily mean be the best any way you can. It simply means that you're rooted and you're grounded in gratitude, be humble and be aligned with yourself. To me, that creates a mindset of positivity. In any place you go, in any time you are, in any business you are, wherever you are being, that alignment of humbleness, I feel there's a word, gratitude, and really your intuition comes together to create that positive mindset. So I'm very much a mindset warrior, just like you are, Chitra.
I love it. And this is why we're friends. But I love everything you said. Two words that popped out for me, obviously, from my work is alignment and intuition. And those are so important in my world, in my just everyday, day-to-day living as I go about doing my work. So have you always been a warrior? Is this something that you kind of grew into as you were evolving?
It's a loaded question. And the reason is I'm older now. When you're younger, it's more of a competition because you are going up and you don't have that kind of wisdom. Not everybody does, maybe some do. I didn't have that kind of wisdom maybe when I was much younger. So that everything was to win. For me, it was more about winning. And then with time and when you get older comes wisdom and experiences in your life and people you are with, sometimes losses that you have within you and in you teach you a lot. And suddenly all of that competition becomes collaboration and all of that winning becomes a purpose in life. And so when you start driving with a purpose in mind and an attitude of helping, an attitude of resilience, an attitude of let me be the best, but in the best possible way, staying humble and connecting to yourself, all of that changes. So I was trying to be the best and win the best in another career of mine. And as time went, it changed into a very different side of me, which I'm very happy about. It doesn't come from arrogance. It comes from humility and gratitude.
Yes. Yeah. Life has a way of teaching you, right? It's interesting. We all go through these lessons in life that change us for the better, hopefully. And so tell me, you said you had another career before. So the real estate has not been your first gig.
Like, who wakes up in the morning says, I want to be a realtor? Nobody.
Not me.
That wasn't me. That wasn't me either. No, I definitely had a different career. And most of I think that has changed now. It is changing now where younger people who are joining real estate actually want to be in real estate because they have understood the power of real estate investments and real estate business. But in, a few years back or many years back, my first career was being a research scientist. And that was, coming from science, a PhD in viral immunology. I'm born and raised in Karachi, Pakistan, went to the UK to do my degree, came to the US way back when, like 28 years ago, and started a career as a research scientist. So I always stayed in science. I've published papers on immunology, on cancer research, which is what I was. And I'll tell you, looking through those cells under a microscope teach you a lot. And it teaches you when you're looking at those cancer cells, how aggressive and angry those cells look. And my mindset actually started to shift the time I started to look at cancer cells. That's just an honest truth. When you look at normal cells, they're beautiful and they're connected so well. They're signaling each other and they're round and they're beautiful. They're just beautiful. But the moment it changes and gets angry, and there's so many outside effects that come into play when your normal cells start to change and become angry. You've put a lot of stress on them. We are the ones who are doing that. And the moment they start to get angry, they start to change their shape. And you can see that under a microscope. Not just that they start to change their shape, they start to take the space more in a really weird way. And then they start to invade other cellular spaces. So that microenvironment of a very normal microenvironment, which is happy and pink and beautiful and bold, changes into aggressive and angry and invasive. And that change happens to you right in front of your eyes when you're looking at the microscope. So
Wow.
that made me think a lot. And I was working on cancer cell inhibitors, like what changes them back. And they also start to move really fast, so invading other people's other spaces. And to me, that was bringing me back to God, that how we should be treating each other and how should be treating our bodies and how should we be treating us. And then what was the question?
I love this.
But yeah, that
I
was
love.
my past, that was my career.
Yeah.
And then that changed because of so many times we moved and family comes first. My kids are very important to me. So finally, when we moved to New Jersey, another something else took place, and I thought, well, you know what, being in how hard it can be to be a good, transparent, ethical realtor, and
Yeah.
who comes from knowledge.
I love
And that
that.
was the inspiration to do that again, to do the best and be the best.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I wonder if there are many realtors in your field that are coming from that kind of extensive research background. Do you
I've never
feel
seen
like,
one.
right? Yeah. Do you feel like that influences the way you show up as a realtor?
Being a scientist, you mean?
Yeah.
It absolutely helps a lot because now you're coming from a background of research, ethics, confidence, understanding, learning, knowledge. I mean, all of those things come into play because that's part of who you are. That's what I'm trained to be. That's what I was trained to be. And all of those skills just come back to you in anything I do. So not just real estate, but anything I do, all of those things are part of who I am, right? So
Yeah.
that education doesn't go to waste. And that shows up everywhere. And not just that, just fearless. Because
Yeah.
who are we fearful from?
I love it.
That
I
makes
love
sense.
it. Where do you drive your strength from?
God.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
mean, I feel that um, purpose in life is to connect to God vertically and then connect to people horizontally. And that has been my GPS. Connect vertically and then connect to people horizontally. I didn't mean it like this
I
because
know.
I'm
It
not
just made a
Christian.
cross.
I'm not Christian. But what I
Yeah.
meant was connect to God vertically, connect to people horizontally, because the best of us are the ones who are best to people in this world. Um,
Mm,
that's what God
yeah.
says too. So yeah, my strength comes from going inwards,
Yeah. Going
going
inwards, your
inwards.
faith.
Yep,
Yeah.
my faith.
So I
Important.
read in your bio a little bit about some of the community building that you've done and the interfaith work that you've done. Why is that important to you?
Interfaith work came as a byproduct. When we were in Arizona, this was 2010, I started a women's organization called the American Muslim Women's Association. And we started to connect with a lot of refugee population. Arizona is one of the largest refugee population. I feel very passionate about it, so I might have a longer answer for you. But we started working with the refugee women, especially, and started helping them with on their journey to their entrepreneurship. There were also a lot of Muslim, Christian, other Buddhists. There were a lot of people who were coming into as refugees, and we got to see them firsthand. But I also realized that there was one thing in common with all the refugee population. They didn't really care what religion you were because they were all
Mm,
coming from the same backgrounds. They were in refugee camps at some place, and all they wanted to do was a better life for themselves. That was the only purpose they had in life, to have a better life. And so it became, and then I realized that the Muslim community that was coming in was getting lost because their kids were getting lost. They did not know the language. They didn't know how to assimilate in the US. And that became a purpose that we need to teach them how to become more assimilated in the US, but also bring more education to everybody else around them to see who we are. Interfaith is really building bridges to help understand each other, get to know you, and so you get to know me. And when you start to build those bridges and you get to know, you become friends, it becomes difficult to become racist. But also, when you get to know each other, we become sisters. It's impossible to hate. When you become brothers and sisters, it's impossible to hate. So the idea of interfaith dialogue and conversation is to eliminate the hate. And if you cannot do that, then if you can actually do that, world will be a much better place. So the whole idea of interfaith is building bridges so that we get to know each other, so that we don't hate each other and become really like siblings.
I love
Big
that. I
task.
love that. Well said. Well said. And it is important for all of us to come together and get to know each other better. I mean,
Truly.
I want to paraphrase and say it again just for emphasis, but I think you said it so well that anyone listening should just rewind and hear that again. But it's lovely to see somebody who is, so passionate about this work. And I've heard you say often how real estate is your business, but community building is your passion. And I see that in how you show up in the community. So tell us a few ways that, for someone who's listening, maybe another realtor, maybe another business owner or entrepreneur who's trying to, set roots in a community, what are some tips that you can give them? Because you do it so well and you do it so seamlessly. So share with us a little bit about how you do what you do.
So are you asking me how to build a community around it or how to use a community in your, what is the real question
So the
here?
question is, if you're running a business and you want to incorporate more community into your business, whatever it is, whether it's real estate, whether it's, what I do with mindset and intuition, whether it's someone else listening who has a product they're selling, since community building is so important to you, how do you think they can leverage something like that?
For me, community building was a necessity. It wasn't a
Mm,
business. But because the community building that I've done, and I'll give you a very short story, and I know that you've heard it before, but when I moved to Arizona, from Arizona to New Jersey, and I really struggled with it, and I really asked, like, why am I here? What is my purpose here? Because I had a bigger purpose in Arizona. And then I realized that I didn't know a single person when I moved here. Zero people. I had no business. I wasn't really working as a realtor. I was looking for a house to buy. Um, and I got to know one person. I went to a little rented space, which is a mosque here, and I threw a lunch. I said, "Hey, can you invite your friends?" Anybody who came to my house on that day, I had never met them before. That's just a true story. They came in and they had a great time and they became my core group of friends. The purpose when you're building a community, whether it's a realtor, you, or anybody else who's running a business, you have to find your people. You have to find a purpose that you are really passionate about and have, again, I know I'm going to use this word over and over again because I believe in that and I know that's your favorite word is alignment. Your business is your platform. It's a platform which is different. You're using a strategy to create the business, but the strategy has to align with your values.
Mm,
If your strategy aligns with your values, people will come. And that's exactly how it happened. The purpose was to bring the community together so that we can create a resource group for everybody, because there was none. We had Muslim community in Livingston, but we didn't know where people were mostly. And I wasn't necessarily looking for Muslim community. I was looking for like-minded people. It just so
right.
happened the people who came together were either there were some Indian women, Hindu women, there were some Muslim women. We came together and then we just created one group from like zero to now over 200 people in that group. There was a whole community. I'll tell you, there's another one, which is a women empowering women group that I am helping my friend Salima. She is the president of the group. Again, the idea was to help local entrepreneur businesses. And we started working towards it. The purpose is to help. If
Mm,
your purpose aligns with your values, they will come. I
yeah.
looked to find places where I can help. And there was a food pantry of the oranges. That was a different community. My interfaith dialogue is very important to me. I was looking for a community, and suddenly I found myself in Sisterhood of Salam Shalom, which is Jewish Muslim, women's organization. I was looking for one of my best friends, some of my best friends back in Arizona were Hindu women. And I was like, where are the Indians here? Because I don't know anybody. And I got to get in touch with Monica, one of the closest friends that I became, and Vinita and you. You have to find your purpose and people will come.
Mm, I love it. It sounds like the big message, the overarching message of all of this is that we're better together, we're stronger together, and we can do more together. Would you
Your
agree?
strategy in your business is just a platform. The success in business is not about your strategy. It's about your alignment.
Yeah.
The moment you align with your values, that is your strategy to have a successful business.
Yeah. And it's so hard sometimes, right? When we're living in this world that is conditioned to push you towards productivity and success and competition and all of that stuff to then stay centered in that alignment, right?
Not only that, you have to stay true to yourself, and then that's where the intuition plays a very important role. Because I'm a student of intuition. The way I just had it right from the very beginning when I was a child. So you just have to tap into it a little bit more. Whether it's choosing a client, you're showing a house as a realtor. I'm not talking as
Yes.
a realtor. Whether you are listening, you're guiding your best decisions, listening to your intuition, you're tapping into it, choosing a client, finding them a home, listening to the clients, listening to people, and really understanding what they're saying. But at the same time, I have clients who have come to me and said, "So we love blah house." Now I know that house is not good for them. They're making a wrong decision that will really not help them in the future. And I have stopped them from buying houses because you just, as an expert in my field, I know they're not making the best decision. Now, I know a lot of realtors will turn around and say, hey, at the end of the day, it's their decision. Yes, at the end of the day, it is their decision. And if they feel so strong about it, I just guide them and say, hey, this is how it's going to happen. In the end, it's your decision if you want to move forward. And I'm very happy to say that there have been times when I really push forward to my clients and they eventually decided to not, eventually decided to listen to me. Again,
Yeah.
it's about what you're listening to your intuition, and that gives
Yeah.
you peace. You're peaceful in your mind and you can sleep well at night. That's how it goes.
That's important, right? Yeah. And I love that you touched upon alignment and intuition because that's how I operate as well. And I think this is why we get along is that there's integrity in everything that we do. And it's so important to think of the bigger picture than to just think of your instant initial gains, right? You could sell the house and make money, but you could also, on the flip side, build a relationship that lasts a lifetime. And when you're honest and you're truthful, and I know you've had a lot of clients that come back to you over and over, right? So that relationship building, that nurturing, that's part of true business success, I would think,
So
right?
any business and real estate business for sure is for me is not transactional. It is relationship building. My clients come back to my business 100% referral. And almost I would say 90% is from clients who have sent their family members, not just friends, but family members. If somebody is sending their brother or sister to me, that's a real success in my
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah. That's the
So
best compliment you can have, right? That's
best.
incredible. That's
And I
incredible.
won't say that. I know you talk
Yeah.
about it all the time. Intuition is really is I feel that it's your wisdom you have earned over the years. It's a
Yeah.
wisdom that stays in you. We just don't tap into it.
It's, you know, we have it. We have it since we're
We have
kids.
it.
We have it since we're babies. We, you know, pets have it, animals have it. We just have been conditioned to forget it
Forget
and
it.
let go of it.
We don't
So the
listen to
fact
it.
that you are holding on to it, speaks volumes for me, at least. And that already puts you, you know, in my best books. It's like, yes,
I want to be in your
intuition.
best books.
No, I love it. I love it. This
And
is
more
such
than
a,
one books? You have more than
what?
one books.
More
I
than
said
one
you have
book.
more than one
Yeah.
books.
Yes, I have multiple books in my head, at least. And you're in one of them. No, I'm kidding.
Hey,
But
one is
no,
good.
listen,
One is good.
it's been such an honor to know you and watch you succeed in your business because you know you've demonstrated what I try to coach people with is which is that you know stick to your your truth, put it out there and go out there with that intuitive guidance and don't fall into that trap of competition or you know fighting each other and instead just lead with that authenticity and you
Yeah.
demonstrate that so well in your work. So I'm so glad that you're doing that and I'm so glad that success is following you everywhere. And you know if someone were kind of in that struggle of like, I want to win the long game and see the bigger picture, but I have to pay the bills and I have to get the deals done. I have to get the transactional stuff done. What is a piece of advice you would give them?
I mean, that's a difficult one. Not like any business, real estate is not an easy business. It's a tough business. It's easy for us to say, hey, why don't you start real estate? Get ready that you may not make any money for next 6 months. You have to be resilient and persevere. Those are the two things I will say. Your relationships is your currency when it comes to real estate business, and there is no competition. This is all about collaboration. You have to compete with yourself. Follow, if you're in real estate and you're just starting and thinking, oh, I can just start. Somebody was actually, it's so funny, I have to say this. Somebody was telling me the other day, I met who wants to be a realtor, and she's been trying to be a realtor, hasn't taken a test. And she said, I kept asking my next door neighbor, don't sell just yet. I will get my license and sell your house and help you buy. What does that really tell me if I am buying and selling? Somebody's asking me to wait so that she can take her test that she's been trying to take for 2 years and then buy or sell for that person. Where is the knowledge? Where's the experience? Where is doing the right thing for the person? Yeah, those are things you always have to remember, that buying and selling a home is an emotional thing. You have to guide. You have to be the right guide for the people. It is the biggest financial decisions they will make. So I don't take that for granted. If somebody has trusted me to be their realtor, I will make sure that I will guide them to the nth degree and do the right thing for them. So anybody who's trying to get into this business or any other business, you have to be patient, you have to build your relationships, and you have to create systems in place and put them in place so that they can help you move forward. And if you keep doing the right things, business will come.
Yeah, I love it. Keep building it, keep doing the right things, and the
Keep
business will
building it, keep doing
come.
the right
Yes,
thing.
I love
What's
it.
that?
I love it. I said that's that. I just repeated what you said, but that's
Thank you.
great. That's wonderful. I know that you do a lot of residential real estate. Tell us a little bit more about who would be somebody that would want to reach out to you and how they can find you.
I work with a whole slew of people, but I feel really connected to the younger community for whatever reasons. Currently my clients are young professionals who are looking to buy. They're anywhere from, I would say, 29 years of age to 40, 45. Mostly, it's the hardest thing to do to work with a buyer.
Mm.
But that gives me the most pleasure, I'll be honest, because helping them see the happiness on their face or the wow on their faces when they walk into a house, or handing them the key when they're closing on a house, it gives me a lot of pleasure. And then I keep checking on them and say, hey, how's the house doing? How's the house doing? I don't say, how are you? How's the house doing? And if they say, oh my God, I love the neighborhood, I love the house, thank you so much, that gives me the most pleasure. So my clients are people who are looking to buy, but also more recently, I got into a lot of listings, which is wonderful because, you can control your business quite a bit when you have a listing. And it's a lot of work. There used to be a time, some realtor a long time ago said to me, oh, it's so easy, just put a board and house will sell. Not so fast, buddy.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes behind, and especially people who are downsizing. I work really well with them. And anybody who listens to their expert realtor is always laughing to the bank. So
I
my
love
job
it.
then becomes to bring them the most money in the shortest amount of period of time, and with knowledge and market knowledge, and also, keep the communication going because people get anxiety, and you have to
Yeah.
make sure that you manage the emotional beings and show up for them at every moment, whenever they need.
I love that.
So,
And I think even buying a home is such an intuitive journey, right? For someone who sees that home and suddenly feels it, oh, this is the one. I feel it. I feel it inside me. Right. That's such an intuitive moment. And I always say in my intuition workshops, like it's buying a home, finding a partner, finding a job. It's like a lot of these big decisions happen intuitively. Sometimes we don't even think about it.
so I really love one thing that you say, and I apply it totally. I can see that in my clients, and you constantly talk about the witch and the warrior, right?
Yes.
See, I listen to you. Um, and I've
Yep.
seen people when they walk into a house that I see the struggle, that they like it, they feel it, they like the vibe of a place, and yet, oh, is it overpriced? Is it something for me? Would I be happy? I'm moving from the city. Would it be okay for me? I see the struggle. There's a witch and a warrior sitting there constantly talking, right? So my job then becomes easier because I understand when I'm looking at them, what the struggle is. And my job is to calm them down with data. And a lot of times people love to see that. A lot of my clients love to see data. Let's just put it that way.
Data speaks volumes.
Data speaks volumes. So the moment you start showing them, and then you're an expert. I know what I'm doing. So when you come with that confidence, people listen. But the witch and the warrior concept is there constantly.
I love it.
See
So
that all the time.
you're kind of balancing the act between the witch and the warrior for them. I love it.
I try.
Excellent. All right. So how can people find you if they're looking to work with you? They're looking to have a conversation with you. Where can they find you?
First of all, they can call me anytime. And this is normally that's not the number I put it online, but you can call me on 313-720-7928. That's my private number, but it sounds like a spam number when I'm calling somebody. So there's a number 973-556-8431, 973-556-8431. Or please follow me on my Instagram. It is at Homes by Sabs, SABS, or just look up my name, Saba Laeeq. Livingston Realtor, NJ Realtor, the top hot realtor.
I love it. So we will also include all of those links in the show notes for everyone to follow you and find you. So I just want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, your insights, your inspiration with all of us. I'm sure somebody listening will be impacted beautifully by you.
I am so grateful to you first of all, grateful to you for being a friend that you have been. I've learned a lot from you, and this is my very first podcast, so I'm super excited about that too. So thank you for inviting. I appreciate that so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. So much.